Hello there, this is Victor Santana at StockHunters.com for September 20th, which is Tuesday. How's everybody doing? Let's go ahead and take a look at today's action. Here we're looking at the U.S. total markets, and as you can see that each candle represents 1 day of trading. So as you can see, we've gotten a small bounce today here. However, we're hitting resistance right at this level here. We are getting across to the upside here, and we are above the zero line with a slight positive histogram reading here. So we're going to see some resistance up here and see if we could go any further up, possibly up to this area. Tomorrow will depend mostly on the news that we get from Bernanke, and see which way we will go. Just to give you a quick update, I'm going to show you the cycles here. Based on a monthly cycle, we've been heading up higher, and we are above in this area, the resistance area. And looking at the weekly cycles within the monthly cycle, we are above here. So once you're above on both sides here, normally we're near the top. Doesn't mean that we can't trade higher, but just to be cautious. For example, if I slide this down over here, you can see this top corresponding with this top is here in this area here, and that we had the big down, and then this top corresponding with this top at the same time where they match. And you could see where the line is going up in here where we got a pullback. So we are basically near this area as well. The red line and the green line are essentially kissing or touching each other, while here it's already has crossed. So something to keep an eye out. This may be near top here, so I would start tightening up any positions that you may have. Okay, so that kind of gives you a general idea of the whole market. Okay, let's go ahead and break this down to the individual indices. We're looking at the Dow 30, and again, we are having resistance up in this area here. Doesn't mean we can't get up on this area or even the double top here, depending on the news in this case here. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now let's look at the S&P. The S&P, we are also above in this area, and we got the crossover here, and in this case here we already have a negative bar appearing. So that is the first sign of a potential sell signal here. So just to be careful. Let's look at the NASDAQ, see how the NASDAQ leading the way to the upside, way up in this area now. But as you can see here, we're starting to cross here, and there's two lines here on the RSI, and the histogram is also bending downward. We are virtually flat on the bars here, with a slight negative tone here showing in the red. And let me pull up the cycles here, and by looking at the cycles here, basically we are above in this area, plus we crossed here. So just something to be careful on this area. And now let's go with small caps. Small caps is showing weakness now, continuing on the downturn here. You could see we've got all the way up to this area, up to the 70, and now crossed down below, and the stochastics is bending down, and pretty much the bar is flat with a slight negative reading. So things are looking kind of weak at this point. And looking at things globally, the weakest of them all had a down day with a spinning top. So it's indecision, doesn't know which way it wants to go. The RSI pretty much close to the center. It looks like a crossing, but it can go either way. Same with the MACD right at the center. So this one here is pretty neutral. If you put in a trend line this way and another trend line going this way, you could see it's going to either break up to the upside or downside. Now looking at cycles, just to get an idea, it has not reached all the way up here, while the short-term cycle has. So it has the potential of heading down lower. If it breaks down here, then that would show a weakness. So if I had to guess, I think we're more prone to the downside in this area. Okay, so that's my view with how I see things. Now let's go ahead and check out our positions here. We're going to look at our closed positions first, and today we closed SLW, right? We entered right here, and we closed at near the end of the day here. So I'm just going to go ahead and just put just a little arrow here showing where we got out in this area. We got out with a 2.6, small little gain, but the way the market is, we want to make sure to take advantage of any little gains, because there's still a lot of uncertainty. As you can see, the RSI has already reached the oversold. MACD is starting to still continuing to go up. However, one thing to note, we have what they call divergence, where the high here is lower than this here, and here they're equal, so that's showing some weakness as well. But it may break out, but as far as the cycles here, we are nearing the top here. As you can see, we haven't quite reached it, and here we've already reached it. And if you compare this high with this high here, and then this new high here, which is equal to here, it's lower, so we got that divergence here. So we have to keep that in mind. So that's why we got out. So if you follow my tweets, you know that I got out just before lunch, during my lunch, before the close of the market, a few minutes. And another one here, we got triggered out of AEA, unfortunately. We had an entry here. Let me try to remember. 835, which is right here. And unfortunately, it pulled back and took down and hasn't triggered here. Let's see, 751. Maybe because because I mentioned several days ago to just start tightening. So we exited out here with a small loss, 5.8% loss on this one here. So as you can see, this has started reach all the way down, and this is the negative territory. So we got triggered out on that one here. And okay, now let's look at the positions we have currently, our active positions. And let's see here. Oh, something has changed here. Okay, let's see here. We already talked about the close. Okay, what we have active right now is KCI. Just trading slightly under our entry point here. RSI is still low. It's now kissing toward the upside. MACD is still low with a slight positive bias on the histogram. Looking at the cycles here, the cycle's still pointing upward short term, but the long term we're on the downside of the cycle, of the monthly cycle here. So we have to be careful here. So if might be prudent to go ahead and put a stop right under the low of this little candle here, which was yesterday. Okay, and let's see here. That, oh yes, and TZA recommended getting in yesterday at the high of that day. So today it traded the bottom, went up, and triggered us in here. So we are now in the market for here. Hopefully, if the market is as weak as it appears to be, we will be breaking out above this trend line here. Now, looking at the cycles, just out of curiosity, you could see we are just crossing over at the bottom on the monthly. So we're getting in at the bottom, and on the weekly we're also crossing here. So we are in sync with the monthly and the weekly. Hopefully we'll at least catch a little move up, if not higher. So we'll just watch and see how the markets play tomorrow. And let's see here. Okay, pending recommendations, two of them. AUQ, which is a gold mining stock, and this one here, we just got the setup right here, and we've got a trigger here. We did get a trigger earlier, but guess we just missed that one. We didn't see it, and so it popped up on my scan this time. And so we're going to go and try to enter it at this level here. You see the trend lines here. It's just right at the trend line. So if it's going to break out, it's going to break out, expecting to 1238 in this area. For the sell stop here, we're going to go here and put it at 1069, a 7.8% risk. Alright, and just quickly looking at the cycles, you could see we're at the bottom of the monthly cycle, just crossing over, and on the weekly cycle it's just crossing over too, so we have some potential to head up to this area. Okay, and the last new idea is an inverse ETF of the financial stocks, FAZ, with a 10% risk, 10.4. You can see we have a trend line coming down. Entry, not based on today's high, but yesterday's, just to be a little more conservative. And with the exit, if we get triggered with an exit down in this area, we got the setup, and we have the trigger signals here. Pretty small trigger signals, but it's a potential, so that's why I gave based on yesterday's high, to give us a little oomph to go up, and hopefully the momentum catches on and we get triggered in and we go breaking past this trend line. So it's just a matter of wait and see. Also, just out of curiosity, we're looking at the cycles. The monthly cycle, you could see we were on a downtrend, but now we are crossing up higher here now, and we are in sync with the weekly and crossing up, so we have the potential of heading up higher. So we'll just all have to wait and see. Again, keep your positions small, half positions at this point, and we'll have to see. Okay, so until next time, keep your eyes on the markets, and always remember, stops that goes in and emotions stay out.